Good morning, y'all. Let's make sure I have sound and do those couple of details before I do the official start. Why I'm in a little bit early. Can you all hear me? A chance. Somebody let me know. Let's see. Live chat. All messages. Okay. So hopefully the microphone's working on this. Hopefully the computer's working because I like using this, and now that my phone service has allowed me to connect with my phone, it makes a whole different experience for us. So hopefully, there we go. Oh, good. Thank you so much for letting me know you can hear me. Kind of show you where I made coffee on the fire today. I don't always do it on fire. Sometimes I do it on my alcohol stoves. So the fire's smoldering. And you see the box, the typical box of firewood we buy in Quartzsite. So, oh, don't scrape the paint on the hood of the tracker. I have y'all perched on the hood of the tracker, and you can see some scenes behind me today. So, good morning. Welcome to Simply Live with Lesa. Still on 2022 Chevy Tracker Travels edition. Um, and let me not say too many times. Good morning, Miss Brooke. Um, I'm so glad I get to see some of you people a little more often. It's so different to be able to run over and visit Brooke at her camp here. She's been lovely to allow me to do that a couple of times. So, welcome. Somebody put a comment out about on one of my posts. Now, I can't remember if it's a thing I put on Facebook or if it was a thing I put on Instagram, because I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and there was a time when I was getting off all of it because it was too much. So good morning, everybody, as you're coming in. Hi. I'm so happy to see everybody. Somebody put a comment because I put the information with a caption, something comment, that said that this was a quick picture of my Sabbath camp. And they were like, what's a Sabbath camp? Okay. Most of you who have known me for a while know that I was raised in a religion that kept the Saturday Sabbath. I still believe that Saturday is the Sabbath and that there are annual Sabbaths that are holy days that are important. And I kind of got it in that three o'clock in the morning time years and years and years ago, that even if there wasn't a church anymore, because there isn't a church that believes whatever, and even though I believe in being spiritual, not religious, I was kind of given guidance to continue or to return to keeping the Sabbath and the holy days, that it would be healthier for me. And so I thought about it long and hard before I did it because I wasn't sure I wanted to do that. And then I realized that there was a piece of stability that comes with routine, and that the routine from my past of keeping the Sabbath and the holy days was good for me. It reminded me of where I've been, as well as in history, where God whatever form that takes, because who knows what that is, right? I mean, none of us know. And that's what I don't love about religion is religions try to say, we know and you need to listen to us and do it our way. Well, I think just like there's, as many different ways to wash dishes as there are people that have ever lived, I think that there's just as many experiences of what that thing that either made us or made the processes that made us. We all can have our own definition of that and experience of that. So because of that, I decided that for me, it was healthy to have a day off, a day of rest. And it did come from a past thing that I knew really well. So that's why I chose to return to a Saturday Sabbath, which I believe is the Sabbath, and to the holy day schedule, because it helps me to have a grounding in my routine. And it keeps me, connected to the moon phases and all kinds of things. So don't be surprised that I might post someday that this week for Sabbath I'm going to camp here and I will be there 24 hours and I don't mind visiting with people, but I'm not moving the car. And that's the way I have handled it for a long, long time. And even when I did do things in big groups, my my ear canals are a different size than earbuds are. So they hang every once in a while or move. So basically, that's to explain to whoever the person was with the comment, what's a Sabbath camp? Well, it just means it was my choice of Sabbath day. This is how I set up my camp. And often that means that I will be there for the weekend. I just saw my computer stuff flash on the screen. I want to let you know the computer is hooked to my cell phone. Yay, it's a Chromebook. They finally allow me, I'm still using my free service because I'm still low income people. I get a cost of living raise this year that will put me at $1,000 a month. Yay. I started at $450 years ago in 2004. So come a long way, baby. And I manage my money carefully as well. And I use tithing principles to guide me in my decisions with money. I am disappointed in some choices I have made. I don't regret them. But I'm disappointed that I am not debt free right now. We've talked about that in the past, but anybody new that's here that doesn't know those things, I prefer to be debt free. I prefer to live below my means, which I have learned to do very well, even when my means is light, tiny. I prefer and think it's healthy to live and travel light and often. It's a perspective thing. It really helps with perspective. Y'all, I hope that smoke from the fire is not annoying y'all. You can't smell it, so it's okay. There's no smell-o-vision, smell-o-video, whatever. So that's kind of explained that. So I guide my life by some pretty simple living things. I have studied Stoicism and other stuff. Yes, frugal and by choice. Absolutely. I think frugal by choice is all good. When I came at this thing called living nomadically or overlanding or, whatever, living nomadically is probably the easiest way to say this. When I came at it, the first time it was in 1978, and it was because my ex-husband didn't like to pay rent. And personally, I was a housewife, and I did not like talking to the landlord when my husband didn't pay the rent. So I said to the husband, we have to do something else. Either you start paying the rent or find another choice. And if you don't want to pay rent, then you tell me and we'll find a new choice. Okay? So this was by choice for me. But the choice started from I did not feel safe in the world. And there was reason for that. I had had both an ex husband and an ex boyfriend, live in boyfriend, would have been common law husband in Virginia. Both marriages were based out of Virginia. I had had both very toxic relationships and very abusive. And both of those relationships, both of those men tried to kill me. When I left for Costa Rica, at that time I was newly disabled and had gotten an apartment in Times Square, New York. Why Times Square, New York? Because it was on a bucket list. And I was like, when am I going to have an opportunity and when could I afford to live in Times Square? Now, while I'm disabled and people will help me pay for an apartment, will help me with food pantry food so I can afford to do this. So I found a way because I'm resourceful and I love to research and I'm good at it. Yeah, I grew up at a little town, Elliott, Maine library, spent a lot of time at the library riding my bicycle up there because it was okay with mom. And not many things were okay with our family because we had a different religion and we were rather poor in our, not destitute, but we were poor in our community. My father had been a day laborer unloading salt ships in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We lived across the river in Maine where it was very rural and very off grid. And so when they moved there the year that I was born, I believe, or close to that. And they lived in a sheetrock trailer with, by the time they changed from the sheetrock trailer to something else, they lived in that trailer with 4 children. And when I was first born, there were only 3 of us. And so they moved there and they moved away when I turned 20. And so I grew up with a very rural, off grid situation, different from, okay, there's 6 of us in my family. The 3 younger children in my family do not remember being off grid as far as I remember because I have not had contact. I have had to go no contact with these people for many, many, many years, since my 30s. There were a couple of times when I attempted to reconnect, and it always is traumatic and I just want to say horrible. I don't have a better word. For me, I was raised most likely by an undiagnosed narcissistic parent, at least one. And if that is true, which it probably is, I don't know if they're alive or dead. I know my father passed, but it just, I was the bad guy in the family. And so that's the background that helps you to understand where I come from a little different. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter in the world, my background. But it might help you if you're struggling to understand something in your life. That's why I have the viewpoint that I do. And I'm blessed to have gone through all that stuff. I wouldn't want to repeat it, don't get me wrong. But I'm blessed because I was able to come through it kind of unscathed. Yeah, I used to cry a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. By the way, my crying, I learned it wasn't okay to be angry. And so I turned my anger into crying for a long time. So if any of you experienced me in my cryy mood, I might have been angry with you and you didn't know it because I didn't realize for years. But whatever. But the things I've been through have made me who I am. I am much happier on the road. I am much happier with my current vehicle, which I, 1, can afford, 2 can afford, 3 can afford, and 5 is rather reliable and can actually go anywhere. I bumped into somebody the other day in Quartzsite that has another white one, 98 Chevy Tracker like mine. Theirs looks a little different from mine. Oh, some of the things that happen on my computer, I haven't learned how to shut them off when I'm doing this. I don't know if you guys see those things, but yeah, I met this other couple. They're from Canada, and they I forgot what I was telling you. Okay. I'm I'm backing up because I forgot what I was telling you. Let me check in with y'all. Y'all kind of know. Please introduce yourself to the group while I'm talking. I know y'all are chatting, and on my computer it shows up on this left side for me. And then as I'm able to take a break, I go read your chat messages and then I start to answer things. If you have a question for me today, please put three uppercase Q's in front of what you're going to ask me. That way I notice it quicker and I can quickly catch that as a question. That's helpful. I do have super chats and super thanks are I'm monetized on YouTube. I don't make if I get $100 check every 3 months, it's a big deal. So you all know I am not pushing the amount of work that it takes to put on a video. And believe me, it takes work. Any of you that haven't tried that, go play with your phone and pretend you're making a video and see what it would take for you, because it can take all day long. And then you try to put it in a program to put two videos together or something and it doesn't work and it's annoying, or your signal's bad, or the Wii Boost, even though it's connected, the power shut off on it, or who knows. Or you're in an area like I am today in Quartzsite where the air traffic is busy. So any of those wireless cell phone things like cell phone towers can get busy and then it's hard. Or it's possible, like I just saw again, it's possible that my connection will blink and I'm seeing it blink. And so if the connection blinks and you lose me for a second, don't worry, I'm still here. I'm not shutting it off. But I might have to take these out and run and check the Wii Boost. I'm saying run. I have y'all set up on the hood of the tracker with some extra cords running through the door. And for me to get to the Wii Boost to check to see if anything's, having a problem, I would have to go on the other side of that door to get in. So let me change sides a little bit, let you have a different view. See where I am today, there's a lot of rigs nearby. I am camped near a couple of friends, which is where I chose to be for this weekend. Okay, let me check your questions. I go live unless something happens. I go live at 9:30 every single Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Arizona time every Sunday. I try to be careful not to mess up not to mess up my timing. I have messed it up when I was traveling before, but I do my best to not mess it up. Ask you guys to figure out what you adjust the time for yourself. So I come on at 9:30 a.m. Sunday mornings, Arizona time. If your time is different, you adjust. If you can't manage to come on to the live, come on as a replay. And if you have questions, just add them as a comment. And I just found a bunch of comments that I had not seen that are even from a year ago. And I'm kind of sorry that I didn't answer your questions, but I'll do my best. Videos are taking a long time, yeah, and the buffering and all that. Okay, will I be going live this coming Sunday? Absolutely, unless something happens. Yes. Beth, I see your comment about what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know what? Yeah, I'm not dead yet. So, hi, Sissy. You remember me back in the Bob days. Well, Bob's still around. He's not dead yet. I haven't seen him, but I've heard stories about other people seeing him here in Quartzsite. I could go look for him, but why? Bob and I know each other. And you're frugal, Beth, not by choice, but that's okay. Yes. Hi. Hi, everybody, everybody. Brooke was so nice to me this week. Sometimes when you're traveling, let me just say this about uh, okay, that's as far up as I can go. Okay. Um, when you're traveling, it doesn't matter where you're traveling, kind of traveling you're doing. You watch anybody, expedition people, anybody, uh, backpackers, bike, what do they call them? Bike touring. I can't think of what they call them. Bike packers, motorcycle campers, bushcraft people, anybody. If you're doing a trip, right, and traveling, something that comes with the territory is that every once in a while you have to like go somewhere and let your rig, okay, don't be offended by this. You have to go somewhere and let your rig throw up. Like take everything out of your rig, adjust what's working and what's not working, kind of take mental notes about really what works for you, and then put it back in. Or put some of it back in and get rid of something or upgrade or, whatever's working. And so I'm no different than anybody else. Happens for me too. I learned over the years that I love an SUV more than I love other vehicles. Oh, hi, Shane. I see somebody saying hi to you. Hi, Shane. I'm glad you're here. Looks like you're having fun with the new air fryer, huh, Shane? I'm glad you have power to run that. But anyway, so I'm just like everybody else. I have to do the same thing. And so I do have this kind of, I don't know if it's a motto, but this saying thing I live by, to travel light and often. I got that back in, I don't know, 2000 something, 2003 maybe, before I was disabled. And I got it, I paid attention to that. If the things I have are lightweight, it's easier to carry. It's easier to run with. It's easier to, I don't know. It works for me. Now remember, and yes, Brooke reminded me the other day. Oh, I started to tell you that I stopped by Brooke's camp and asked her if it was okay if I did my rig throw up and near her. Could I do it, outside of her little camp, but could I do it right there? That way, when I took a break, I'd have somebody to think out loud with, because I am a think out loud person. Sometimes y'all hear me. I'm not making decisions. I'm thinking out loud. So, so, um, so Brooke let me do that, and she did. She was really a blessing to be able to do that near her, and the fact that she put up with me while I was like, but I don't know whether I get rid of this. I've only had it a short time and it works really good. But then I realized it was worth spending the $50 to have the really good thing, and I don't got it like giving away lots of stuff, but at the same time I need to, I don't need this in my space, and this is not really working. Oh, if I put this here, that'll be helpful, right? And so she let me go through that whole process near her, which I hope I didn't wear her out, but I'm awful glad that there are people that let me do that just as much. We all need it. And that's part of what I used to do when we would do the, I just saw your comment, Beth. Yes, things that are lightweight do fly away better in the Arizona winds. You're absolutely right. But I am I'm speaking about other things as well. Not just things that will blow away, but they do. It's good kite weather down here. Although it's so strong, sometimes the kites won't actually work. So let's see. What was I talking about? I forgot. So yeah, that whole process of, things are working, they don't work, you know. So I allowed myself, after the whole robbery thing, and that was hard. I couldn't decide whether to go ahead and get the spare tire organizer carrier saddlebag thing, and because it had been stolen, and there was a piece of me that kept saying, well, maybe God let that happen because I wasn't supposed to have it. And then I went, yeah, how does that sound? That's old from the history of, being in a religion, in a family that were kind of about, well, I don't know if the comment I'm about to make is true, but they were kind of about having less makes you better or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, okay, about the way they believed. But my point is that I kind of had to really think that over. Do I go ahead and order it? I really wanted it. And so I did. And then some of you saw the picture. I believe I like that term too, geezer. I use it a lot because that's what it looks like. Believe me, when you drive into some camp situation and you see where people's vehicles have thrown up, you sort of just go, ooh, I'm not sure I want to camp beside that, right? But then if you learn who the people are, and if it's a process thing, that's one thing. And if they're homeless and they feel like that's how they have to live, that's another thing. I don't want to camp beside that. If somebody's, working a process, that's different. So I'm leaning on the car a little more here, so I'm a little closer, giving you a side view. So let's see. So yeah, working that process, I went ahead and I got the saddlebags for my. It's chilly, so my nose is running. The saddlebags for my spare tire. Love them. So I think I posted that picture. I can't remember if I posted it here on YouTube or if I put it on Facebook. And a couple of you, Shane, by the way, have you seen the new picture, Shane? The Dora the Explorer backpack is back along with it. I was able to finagle a way to put that Instaprivy backpack back on. And I've learned how to use my Instaprivy shelter curtain, whatever that thing's called, by hanging it off my back door, off the raised part of my back door, and then sitting under it or using it to change clothes. And it's much more useful that way. So that bag right now only has in it the folding toilet seat and that enclosure, the Instaprivy enclosure thing. I wish Instaprivy had given me a patch of some kind. They would have been getting advertising for an entire year. I've had that thing on there a year. But I don't have anything from them that says it's an Instaprivy to put on there. So, I've got some decals to put on the car, but I haven't put anything on yet. What I'm hunting for, if anybody happens to have one and you're close to me in Quartzsite, let me know. I'm looking for a no good, but not dented Arizona license plate. The reason I want an Arizona one is because ours are not stamped. So the license plate stuff, the numbers and all, is painted on. What I want to do is take that, unless you have a blank. I don't know where to get a blank. I had my friend, the graphic designer, made me a nice big logo with my .com on it that will fit on a license plate. And so if I could get a license plate blank or an Arizona one that I can turn over on the back and, paint it and rough it up with some sandpaper and paint it, then I can make a front license plate that will have my logo on it. That's what I would like to do. I don't know where to find one of those, but I want one that's not stamped, so it doesn't have the bumps in it. And I know I'm a little picky, but whatever. Oh, okay. Thanks, Beth. Thank you. That is so iconic. Yeah. So, anyways, let's see. Yeah, I'm really happy with that thing. The organizer, the saddlebags on the spare tire. I would like to raise my third brake light about an inch higher, but I need to have some help with that. I did meet somebody with another tracker. I started that conversation earlier. I'm hoping I find them again because they're a couple from Canada, Ed and can Carrie. And I hope I run into them again because he welded on his own 2-inch receiver hitch addition to his class 1 hitch on the rear, and then he added a 2-inch receiver hitch for accessories on the front of his rig, and I want that. He did his for his winch. And of course, for a winch, it would be great too. But first off, I would really like that hammock stand. And let's see, I want to kind of blend this conversation in with the fact that I've been considering putting, you guys probably heard me talk about this, considering putting a roof rack on the top. Because lawn chair, my recovery tracks, you know what recovery tracks are, right? If you don't, let me know and I'll kind of explain those. But it would be nice if those things were outside my car. So, oh, how cold is it here? I didn't see who asked, but that's okay. How cold is it here? I don't know. It's what, 40, 50 right now? I don't need a hat or gloves. I mean, I'm sticking my hands in my pockets a little bit, but this is a down coat. I'm allergic to down, but I'll get through at least a season with this one, and I needed it. It was so cold. It was 9 degrees when I was in, 9 degrees with 65-mile-an-hour winds in New Mexico while I was in that situation a while back. Anyway, it's been kind of cold here, but only one night of frost on the inside of the windows, kind of thing. It's, I mean, this is comfortable for me. I'm okay. I obviously have my little, fire stuff. Let's show you that again. Have my little fire set up. So I think you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. And so that's the Doki Camp fire pit grill. That one's it's a Pico grill knockoff. And so there you get the tree. That's an even better picture. I'm not very good at standing this direction, but let's see if I can show you this side of my face for a while. The tree gives you something to look at. This is a Palo Verde. The wood does not burn well. And in quartzite and most BLM land, you are not supposed to pick up the branches or snap off things on these trees. These trees are hundreds of years old. They don't grow fast. And people who come here from other areas where trees grow fast, they think that any branch that looks dead is dead, and it's not. It's just kind of dormant, and as soon as it gets some water, it all turns green again. So don't be pulling the stuff off of that. If a ranger sees you, you'll get a ticket or more, or you'll get banned from BLM land and more. It's possible. So, bring your firewood from carefully from somewhere else or buy it or whatever they're asking you to do. So, oh, is it 42? Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with this. My nose runs a little. That's pretty normal. So let's see. So with the rig, yeah, I've been threatening to do something about a roof rack. But I haven't really figured that out. I did talk with Perry Craft. They're in North Carolina. They would love to be the ones to help me And I would need to have about $400 in my pocket when I showed up to talk to them, but they would like to help me with my roof rack. But that's because they are the company who makes lots of things for marine use. That means boats. So it's a little higher end, and it's often very pretty chrome and whatever. And if you were to buy a new rally top for any vehicle, rally tops are still available for Jeeps and for trackers. And if you were to get one and you wanted roof rails on it, it would be Perrycraft roof rails. But Rally Tops company does not sell the roof rails for you to put on aftermarket. So they sent me to Perrycraft. When I called Perrycraft, I talked to the owner, and he was like, "We really love to help you. We're on the other side of the country from you, but if you came to North Carolina and you came with X amount of money in your pocket so that if we needed things that I can't help provide for you." So that's an option, but I don't know. Oh, yay! You're going to love the smoked chicken thing. We did a turkey breast and I did two chickens, and it was like the bomb. I was disappointed that that Cobb grill that you got from me, Shane, I was disappointed that the gentleman I bought it from had drilled holes in one of the pans, and that pan's not supposed to have holes in it. And if you can, if you find that you love it, I really suggest that you change that pan. Get a new one. You can buy a new one from the Cobb USA website somehow. I can help you find that if you can't find it yourself. But you and Lily are pretty good at finding things. By the way, how's Lily? Tell her hi. I haven't contacted her again yet. I know she's a busy little girl. Little girl. She's a woman now. Let's see. So with the rig stuff, this couple that I met, he was kind of, I don't know if he was really offering, the couple from Canada that have a tracker like mine. I'm not sure if he was offering or not to help me, but if he was offering to help me, I can't wait. Hi, Jules. I can't wait to talk to them or run into them again and find out if he really would help me, because I'm actually camped near Tim Connolly right now in the Hannah bus. And Tim has a welder, and the guy knows how to weld. And if it could work out, I might be able to maneuver. So, y'all, if you pray or whatever, send up some good thoughts and pray about this whole thing. If it works out that he could put my front hitch on so that I could have the hammock stand right on the front, it would balance the weight. There's another thing I wanted to talk about. I'm just remembering. But anyways, it would balance the weight to the front of the car from the weight of the saddlebags on the back tire. That would help. This gentleman also knew about some clips that you can put in the springs on the rear of my vehicle that will stiffen my springs. Right now, I don't have that much weight in the back of the car, but there's still more weight in the back of the car than in the front of the car. And so my car's sagging a little backwards. Not a lot. Yeah, some people wouldn't even notice. But he notices because he pays attention to it. And I notice because I know my car. And so I'd like to get those spacers put in there. Yes, Beth. Just Perrycraft would love to help me put them on in a very professional, finished way. And so I haven't gone any further with, I just explored the idea. That's all I've done so far. So I don't even know what I'm doing with that. But, and all of this is bringing me around to when you're traveling light and often, you want to balance the weight in your vehicle. I talked about this when I was packing minivans and stuff, making sure that the heavy tools were in the middle of the minivan so that, the middle space can carry the weight better. Well, if you do this, you keep your gas mileage, you're not wonky on a trail. So just to kind of tell you, give you an even better example, I was watching Eva. Yeah. What's Eva's name? I can't think of her name right now. Eva. Okay, Van Buren's are the Epic Family Road Trip. Wrong people. So Eva. Anyways, I was watching Eva. Maybe I'll try to share her thing on a YouTube post later. But I was watching Eva's new thing about her going down to Mexico, and I'll think of her name in a minute. She has a defender, and while she was in the state, she's from Poland, I think. Anyways, she's quite an adventurer, and she's young and cute and all that kind of stuff. She has an old defender, and she and some of the friends I know from Overland Expo were just up at the Arctic Circle. They went all the way to Alaska to turn around and come back down so they can start to do the Pan American Highway, is what they're aiming for. And so they went down and crossed into Baja recently. And on that piece of their Baja trip, while she was in the States, before she went up there, she had Alucab, I think it is, remove the roof of her Defender. Am I saying the right thing? Anyways, and they put a pop top bed up high for her, but she has access from inside. So they redid her rig while she was in the States. And then she went up there, and then they turned around and they were coming back down. So they're on their way. They're in Baja now. Darn, she didn't get a hold of me. I would have gone with them. Anyways, she got on a piece of road in her latest video. She was on a piece of dirt road where the camber is the side to side stuff, was not impossible or impassable, but it scared her so bad that she wouldn't go with the group. She decided to turn around and do the safe thing and go a different way and meet them down the road later. And it was, I mean, her rig was actually in danger of rolling over. And she was too scared. And that appropriately, you do what you can appropriately handle. And sometimes it changes the expedition or the adventure. It changes the group's plans sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. So that is another factor that's another reason why I don't really want to go up on the roof with any of my gear. If I keep my weight down low on this rig, tip over is doing cambered roads is basically a breeze. Okay, you still have to be careful. There's a point in angles where it will go. Okay, but you can get a lot of camber in there before it'll go over. So keeping the weight in a vehicle lower is just wiser. So I have a lift kit and wider tires on the tracker so that I can maneuver a lot of dirt roads in difficult situations. This couple I met, Ed and Carrie, he got in a line with a bunch of ATVs last week sometime with his tracker. And they all thought they were going to, like, watch the tracker get ruined or watch it roll over or something like that. So he said, Lesa, don't go on that road, okay? He goes, you could do it, but don't. There's no reason you don't need to prove that one. He goes, I already did. They got to a certain point, but he was in the middle of the line and he was like, can't back up. There's too many people behind me. And he'll get, as a guy, he would have got laughed at. So why would you do that, right? But anyways, they got up to this thing and there's evidently a nearly straight up rock face. And the ATVs are going over it. His wife evidently was sweating bullets and white knuckling it because her face when he was telling the story, she's like, he said, he put a hand over to her and he said, just sit back and take a deep breath and let her do her job. And had it in low gear, and he said it climbed right up the top and went over and didn't scrape, didn't do anything. He runs a similar size tire to me and a similar what I have is a spring lift. It's a puck of metal that is they pull your springs down and they put this piece of metal in to give you a little more space. So I don't know if you can hear. There's some activity going on behind me. There's a dog and whoops, my power cord. Let's see. There's some activity going on back there. There's an Airstream. Whoops, I can't show you. There it is, over there somewhere. There's an Airstream over there. The owners of the Airstream's pickup truck died, and it was a fairly new truck, so it's at a dealer's, I think in Yuma, and so they've been planning to get somebody to help them tow the Airstream down to Yuma until the truck's fixed. So they're on their way down there. Let's see. So that's a reason why I'm trying to keep things low. If you watch Eva's video and you see what happened to her, she shows the whole thing, and she shows her anxiety. And I've had those anxious things all by myself before, and I've wondered about whether I was going to tip over my vehicles in the past. And so I'm making sure, because this one is so lightweight and good on gas and everything, I'm just trying to make sure I don't have those same issues. So I don't want to go too high, but I would like to get the fire pit rocker again. I loved that chair. I sold it to somebody for probably $20 when I got the minivan that year, because it wouldn't fit comfortably in the minivan in a way that I was willing to live with. And sometimes I don't want stuff inside my rig that's too big for me. But all the chairs I've had have been so uncomfortable. And unless I can find a small chair that is more of a straight back, then I want that. I want one of those again. Let's see. So that's some of the reasoning for some of the things I do with my rig. I have been again working on the kitchen boxes because I'm back out. And oh goodness, I think I overstressed my body and then ate a whole bunch of Terra chips, which the vegetable of Terra chips are fine, but the oil not. And so I had some bathroom issues, and it was really hard. And, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do because it happens in the moment. You can't control some of that. And so one day I was in a campsite very early in the morning, and it was like, oh my God, like right now. Like, I don't have time to put my toilet together. I ended up having to use the ground, which if you're hiking, that's one thing. But in this camping situation, in a very public, populated area like Quartzsite, you can't cat hole leave things. So I'm out there in the dark cleaning up the ground the best I could. And then having to go find a shower. Come to find out, oh, I paid way freaking too much for a shower. Love's in Quartzsite is charging $18 for a shower now. Whoa. But I was already there and I was all prepped for I gotta, and it was the closest one, and so I didn't hunt for price, I just did it. And that hurt. That hurt to spend $18 on a shower. But I did it, cleaned up, felt better. And then I've been kind of really being careful with my stomach, because I think it was a combination of stress, and then I didn't really eat any food I have a problem with. So I think it was just I was moving a lot, and this probably some stress. So I've been being careful. My taste has sort of come back. I still can't eat eggs, after COVID. Still can't eat eggs. Coffee's tasting better, but yeah, kind of back and forth on coffee. So I think I'm hunting for some really good peppermint tea. Just plain old peppermint tea. Yeah, yeah. Say that again, geezer. Say that again. Wow. Yeah. No. What happened to $5 showers? Yeah. But deep breath on that one. There are moments when you gotta do. I know when I couldn't have afforded to do that, but I took it out of the, you know, do I say this out loud? If you see my rig, don't go in my car and look in my ashtray, okay? I have an ashtray fund. When I feel like it, I put money in there, right? It's not a I have to. Sometimes it's change from somewhere. Sometimes it's a couple of $1 bills. But it's I could spend this if I want to. It's not really a budget. You do what you're told. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. So, but anyway, I had some money in the ashtray, so I used ashtray money along with my shower money for the month. But that means I have no more money for this month for more showers, because my budget for showers is certain amount. I like my budget for showers to be $10 a month. Okay. And I don't even use it that way because a lot of times I'm just out where I heat water and I just bathe, a washcloth and a bucket and a cup, and I can do everything I need to do. And I'm clean, and I'm not a nasty person. So I do the best I can with all that. Oh, I see my neighbors having a little fire. I probably have been loud enough to have annoyed some people, but I told them that I was going to be doing this morning if they heard me. So I try to warn people. Oh, I was asked when I first came into camp, some people who were new were asking me how I choose a campsite and how I move into a. Right, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And in that moment, I'd already had a bathroom issue. I already didn't feel good, and I already had been park with a coyote standing beside me, cleaning up the ground and trying to make sure that I didn't miss anything, so that I wasn't leaving a nasty campsite for somebody to come back, somebody else to be around. So, yeah, yeah. So, let's see. What else we got going on? So, okay. I think I've been kind of keeping up with the messages better. I got to tell you, being able to use. I am so glad that my free phone service is allowing me to use my data from my phone to run my computer finally, and so I don't have to pay yet. I'm still low income, still technically on disability. It is Social Security disability, so it's SSDI. And so I still qualify and I still get this service. So it's my free service I'm coming to you live on. And so feel so blessed that they have now allowed my Chromebook to talk to my phone. And I say talk to my phone. It is not, it is using kind of the hotspot, but in this particular case with my phone service, what it's actually Thank you. I have some more wood if you'd like to. They're big knots that don't fit my thing. Okay, I'll come over when I'm done. Okay. Hey, do I holler at my neighbors? Sometimes. So, I forgot what I was telling you before that just happened. I told you about the showers. I told you about the bathroom stuff. When you get out here, you do. I saw a video from a long distance hiker the other day, and he was talking about people think you should never take toilet paper when you're long distance hiking, that you should switch to the little bidets. Yep, that's great, except you're not eating your normal foods. And it's not true when you're traveling and living a nomadic lifestyle that you're not eating your normal foods. You should. Okay, I'm not shooting on anybody, but I'm still using the word. You ought. Still not shooting on anybody. It's a really great idea to be eating your normal foods when you're nomadic. Many new nomadic people are so excited. They're out here doing this whole, oh, yes, I was telling you about that. But they come out here and they do this whole, oh my God, party time. Let's have s'mores. Let's do a potluck. Let's do I can't wait to have steak. I can't wait to have barbecued, blah, 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 right? I can't wait to, drink more alcohol than I have. And then their health suffers. And so don't forget to take care of your health and start to find a routine and a normalcy with your food when you're nomadic on the road, because the party stuff doesn't last. This isn't a party. We need to keep each other healthy. And so when we do potlucks and things like that, don't be bringing I'm thinking of some weird salad, Cool Whip salad that my grandmother used to make with green jello and marshmallows. And don't do that to people. Yeah, no, bring healthy stuff and encourage people to stay healthy, because it's real easy to like come out here and then end up with some disease because, diabetes or something, because you haven't paid attention to your health. So take care of your health and remember to have some routine with your food. It's good for you. So find normalcy in your food. And the stress of moving around, a body was made to walk, not to be driving 80 miles an hour. And so it will, yeah, ambrosia, it will, it will cause digestive issues just moving around a lot. Plane trips will affect your body and your everything. It messes with your insides. We weren't made to go that fast. Does it mean you can't? No. I'm just saying be careful, because don't forget, like I didn't forget, but I was like a little caught off guard when I had some ugly bathroom stuff. And it was like, oh, Lesa, you know this. Why are you forgetting that your body's just going to react because you've just done how many days worth of lots of big decisions, and you need to sit still. And so for me, the day of Sabbath rest is important. And I think it's wise to pick one day out of 7 and rest. And I chose to pick Sabbath because for me, that's the right one to do. And then I do the holy days, which give me some annual things to look forward to. Okay, now let me go back. The phone talking to the computer. So I'm using SafeLink, and it is my lifeline service because I'm disabled and on SSDI. And because of that, my SafeLink service allows me, I think I also have that federal emergency, I don't remember what it is. I have unlimited service right now, okay? And it is my lifeline service, so it's free to me. You have to have a physical address that is not being used by somebody else. You can't use a post office box address to get the service, but they can finagle a way around if your mail comes to a post office and you have a physical address to go with it. But it kind of uses my hotspot, but you don't turn on your hotspot. You do a setting in the Chromebook that says I don't think I can look at it I can't look at it while we're doing this, but it says something like use data service from your phone, and you have to do a whole setup. But once you do the setup, then it's the phone company allows you to use it the same as you use your phone. And in my case, I have unlimited service on my phone. And for a couple of years, it's only been on the phone. And so they just opened it up so that now my Chromebook can use it. So I can stream a movie from Prime Video. I have low income Prime Video. Ask me about that if you don't know. But low income Prime Video, and I can stream a movie. And with the Weeboo Sleek that y'all helped me get, I'm able to do a lot. So here we are with me on a bigger screen, different computer, the whole. It's kind of nice to have this. I'm really enjoying being able to do this way. So how are we doing? Any more questions y'all have this day? I would love to answer questions if that's possible. Chromebook, use phone settings sounds about right. Yeah, Beth, check it out. And if you can't find the answers, don't forget, send me a comment and ask me the questions, or, send me an email or something. Remember to please put in all caps live or something so that I, don't think it's spam. But, yeah, I'm hearing some plane or helicopter or something. I don't know what no, it's a plane. It's a biplane, I think. No, it's a helicopter. No, it's a plane. It's a bird. You hear him? He's noisy. It's a helicopter. He's noisy. He's probably a military one. We'll wave at him. Can't see them. They might see us. Let him go by. Noisy little thing. Okay, there goes the Airstream. Bye, people. I hope they have a happy trip with the least amount of stress they can have is a good thing. So, I don't know what else to talk about today. I have an appointment this afternoon to go meet up with some friends and see what they're calling their quartzite homesteads. So I'm going to do that with them. I'll take some of those Terra chips because Ken's grocery outlet, they sell things by the case. And so a case of Terra chips was $10. And he only has a limited supply. I think he said he had 24 more cases. But I bought a case because I figured that was an easy thing for me to take when I go to visit somebody or parties, things like that. And I just be a little careful how many I eat because of the kinds of oil on them. I'm better with the good old, really good extra virgin olive oil. Oh, I found this. You guys want another recipe today? I think I'll give you a little recipe thing. I found something that I really, really love. I bought some sweet potatoes, and when I can find them, I buy the Japanese purple ones. And if I can get the purple ones that the inside are purple, I'll eat those too. I mean, those are the bomb. But if I have to get the purple ones that have the white inside, my favorite, I don't like the sweet potatoes that are orange inside. But if I eat anything else, I'll eat those before I'll eat a white potato. Anyway, so the other morning I took a sweet potato and I cut it in little thin slices, like a piece of it, right? In thin slices this direction, like round circles. And then I put aluminum foil and parchment paper and I stood these up. And in between each one, I put a little bit of goat cheese. And then I put some seasoning on top, some salt and pepper thing. For pepper, I'm using smoked Tabasco sauce, Chipotle Tabasco sauce, instead of black pepper. I seem to feel better without black pepper. I can have it. It's not, it's not an allergy. I sneeze a lot, but I just don't use it all the time. So a little bit of that, some olive oil, some salt. Oh, I did put olive oil and some salt. And then I closed it up and put it in the fire. Oh, good Lord. That was the bomb. And I should have added some black garlic because black garlic is good. And I don't know if Ken's discount grocery outlet still has black garlic. But if he does, I'm buying some more because that's lightweight. I can carry that without any trouble. I may buy a case of kippered herring from him. That'll be a decent price, and I think I can manage the weight. It's not very it's a small box, but I think I can manage to put it like in the footwell space behind the driver's seat where I don't have to get in it that much because each container is one serving, and if I'm careful and don't like run out of food and eat it like 4 cans at a time, it will last me a long time. So that would be a wise thing to carry. I made my millet using my mini thermal pot the other day. That's been great. Oh, Iris, black garlic's the bomb. It's not the cheapest stuff in the world, but it's supposed to be super healthy for you. And when it's roasted, it has this sweet taste before it's garlicky. It's like super yummy. So I don't remember where I heard about it the first time, but I finally found it cheap enough at Ken's grocery outlet. I think it was maybe $2 for a jar. And I was like, well, for $2, I'm trying it. Well, geez. I went into McDonald's while I was driving for a senior coffee, and I'm pulling out a $1 bill. Senior coffee's $1.87 or $1.89 or something like that right now. And I was like, whoa, okay. But when I'm driving like that and I'm so busy, I just didn't feel like messing with coffee in that moment. But that's because I don't quite have an easy way to make the coffee at the back of the car. I liked the pull-out table thing, and I don't have it. I donated it to a girl with a van in Oregon. She went gaga, and it wasn't quite fitting perfectly. And so a little part of me wants to do another rebuild of that. I have materials at the cabin because I have the other half of it is still at the cabin. And but I'm kind of back and forth on what's going to work the best because I've really been enjoying this little tiny fire pit thing. How cool is that? And I know that if I could afford one, having a flat fold titanium wood stove, I would probably use even more because I don't like washing just like anybody else. I'm just as human as the rest of y'all. Don't forget that. Please don't forget. I don't like washing the sooty pots any more than anybody else. So I have one pot, and I did not bring the little matching. I have a set of titanium pots that I use on the fire. Well, I left the little mini fry pan part back at the cabin. I thought I wouldn't use it. And then I got down here and I was like, well, darn, I should have brought that. It didn't weigh anything. But I've boiled cowboy coffee on the fire the last 2 mornings. It's been kind of nice. So, but I have a Lotus. I don't know the exact name of this, but I have a Lotus alcohol stove that it would slosh and leak alcohol. It's not made for traveling. So I set it down inside a gallon plastic bag because alcohol doesn't react with plastic. So I set it down in there and make after I use it for when I travel. That way there's always a little bit of liquid in it. It's hard to pour out. So that way if it sloshes, at least it's inside a bag and not getting on all my stuff. So that stove works really good, and because it has a big reservoir, it'll burn for hours and hours or a number of days in a row. And so when I'm sitting still a little bit, that's a great little stove. It's really good at the cabin. I could be using an Esbit stove or like a spirit stove or a Trangia. I prefer the Esbit over Trangia, but it's mostly the simmering part. Well, I just never used a Trangia. Let's just say that. I've had Esbits. So I could do that. I'm kind of looking at an Evernew with a cross stand, and a possibly eventually in the future also getting the heat diffuser for an Evernew. I'm looking at those possibilities. I really liked I have it with me, my Toaks titanium siphon stove. But there's things with all of these alcohol stoves that, I'm looking for certain thing. I'm looking for something that fits in the pots that I love so that it will take up the least amount of space, as well as the fact that titanium can be used on fire as well as on whatever. But I don't like washing the sooty pots any more than anybody else does. I know how to prevent it. I know how to deal with it. I'm not worried about it. But I got one pot right now that I'll put on there, and I've been boiling coffee in it, cowboy coffee style. And so I might leave it as a coffee pot. I don't know for now. But I keep dealing with that as I find the foods that are the simplest, most basic, easiest to find anywhere in the world kind of things. And of course, add everybody adds things to that they can as they find things that are fun foods, right? Because we all want something. I mean, come on, we want comfort food, and I'm good at making food taste good. Shane can attest to that. I know Shane has had plenty of my food over the years, but I sticking with some basics is wise for me. It helps me, stay what stay careful, stay sane. Can't wait. I almost bought a pomegranate the other day, and I put it back down. And I'm going to, when I see one again, that will be something I'll buy. I'm looking forward to making a coleslaw with pomegranate seeds and probably avocado. I think that would taste good. And then, put some salt and pepper and stuff in it. I don't know. We'll see, but that's something I'm going to do. So I already gave you a recipe. We're over an hour a little bit. Do we have any more questions today that you guys can think of? Because I ought to go spend a few minutes with the lady next door that invited me to come visit her at her campfire and see her little girl. She has a little tiny dog. Woof! Oh, woof! This morning, I forgot her name, Petunia or something. Her dog's coming close. So, yeah. Any more questions? Let's see, and then I'm gonna let y'all go, and you have a wonderful day. And I'm seeing. What am I seeing behind me? An ATV with a blue boy behind it. They must have gone and dumped their stuff. What happened? I can't see you guys anymore. Okay, show me the chat. Maybe I'm not on right now. Love my recipes. Have a great day. Okay. Yes. Y'all too. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Keep bits keep life simple. It helps. Take care of each other. Be kind, but not stupid. Yeah. Take care of you first, because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of somebody else. Love you first. All those good things. And so, yeah, have a good week. I will see you next week. You all have a great one. Oh, and I am working on the Baja plans. Don't know where they're at right now. I thought I was going sooner. Some people are already down there. The other people aren't, but whatever. Reconfigured your bed while you were listening. Oh, wonderful, Mary. Mary, I hope we could catch up. I don't know if you're down this way yet, but we'll talk. Y'all stay in touch. Ciao. Whoops. Somebody said something else. Don't let me go away. Okay.